100 rated chess. But you are drinking soup. All your pieces, not pawns, but always be on top of another piece or pawn. So is it drinking soup, or eating soup? Here in my mother language they say eating soup, but for real neither of options actually makes any sense to me. Souping soup. We get a 100 rated guy from India. H4. Since the challenge is heavily restricting my piece's activity, the best and most obvious plan is definitely to make use of the pawns. E5. This is going to be a very aggressive game. H5. Very aggressive. D5. G4. That blunders a pawn, but unfortunately there is no base for my bishop to stand on. The soup is gonna fall down due to gravity. H6. Even though the center pawns are very dominating, I don't want to continue pushing them for now, as I need them to be relatively close so the pieces can use them as a base to stand on in the future. Bishop G2. Bishop E7. The king is the base for my bishop, which means now I must not move my king in any circumstances. But since he currently doesn't have any threats that can force my king to move, there is nothing to worry about. Rook H3. Alright. It is time to make the first move. Bishop to H4. My opponent's pawn is the base for my bishop to stand on. The challenge didn't say the base has to be my materials. This is absolutely legal. Knight F3. I already predicted that. Here we go. G5. I'm relying on the possibility that my opponent doesn't know about the en passant. H takes G6 here makes my bishop loses his base and the video ends, but since this challenge is just way too difficult, we have to take risks to make progress. Absolutely perfect. G takes H4. Alright, now this is a passed pawn, at some point it's gonna turn into a queen which doesn't need a base as it is originally a pawn. Never mind. Queen takes H4. A resignation will be very convenient. Didn't happen. Knight F6. E3. E4. Blocking his bishop from going back to the king side, and even though now he can take the pawn and I cannot take back due to the challenge, he obviously shouldn't know about it. Right? Bonk loud. That blunders a king to bishop G4 F3 bishop F3 king F1 queen H1 king F2 queen G2 king E1 queen G1 a very forcing and textbook checkmate in 5. But since bishop G4 doesn't have a base, I need to come up with something else. Bishop B3. Knight H7. Rerouting my knight to G5 to act as a base for bishop G4. And then I realized that knight G5 itself doesn't even have a base to begin with. Knight back to F6 again. Okay, that was stupid. Need to come up with something else. Something that can make him play G5 so his pawn can be my bishop's base. But with the situation that he has been blundering this exact pawn for pretty much the entire game, this is not going to be such an easy task. Never mind. Mission accomplished.